All righty.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 3rd meeting of the Hyde Park Planning Board. Please take note of all the exits around the room, and now join me as we salute the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A quick housekeeping note, Ms. Franson, our planning consultant, is not here tonight because I gave her dispensation to stay home. Her house is suffering rolling blackouts.
Oh.
Not half out and half working. Rooms are going haywire. I told her that. Poltergeist. Yes. I
Do we
said
know
that-
any electrician?
Well, yeah. Monroe's a
If
little
only we
far.
knew an electrician.
The service trip would kill us.
Does anyone know an electrician here?
Yeah.
Mr. Beats on the way. The first item on the agenda is a workshop for Relier Properties LLC. Tablets are seeking site plan amendment and special use permit approvals for a site located at 1564 Route 9G. Mr. Berger, Mr. Relier, back up.
Good evening. I think we're here to go over the site walk and any more comments that the board has. The one change I would like to bring out that's on this plan because it's in flux is the entrance, discussing with the DOT and deciding the last plan had the south entrance closed. After site walking it and stuff, we would like to entertain closing the north one and leave the south one open. And that's the discussion we want to have with this board. I've already had a verbal conversation with the DOT on that.
Oh.
And they said it's up to us to decide.
Oh,
How unusual. I believe that the board, the first time we reviewed this application,
Said the same.
prior to the new owner, we actually thought the south side would be the better one to keep open, but DOT disagreed with us.
Different people there.
Board members, would you, if you remember the site,
Yeah,
this that would allow the flow to go all the way to the end of the
that's
site.
what we
without-
thought too.
yes, yeah.
And that's why this plan doesn't show either closed because we're in that flux of what we're doing. And DOT basically is sending me back for more input. They're saying it's really going to be the traffic is going to decide. The local resident engineer is agreeable. So we have to make a good argument, and one of our arguments, we would like to have support from the planning board. Obviously, if the planning board wanted the north one, and they want the north one, I guess we're doing the north one. If
No,
you want the
they-
south one
they
open,
overrode
and you
us.
agree with us,
Again, it's a better way to access the
Yeah.
multiple uses on the site,
Yes.
but
without
it's
interfering with
their,
everything else.
it's their call, but they will take in consideration what the planning board wants and our argument of,
So I take it you're asking for a letter from the planning board to the DOT recommending that they close the north entrance?
that
Outline
would be
reasons.
certainly supportive of us going, because they're going to send it to traffic, and traffic's going to make the determination, not the local. And our argument is it's better for the trucks turning in for the use in the back, and we've
You're
presented this.
getting no dispute up here, I promise you.
Yeah, we presented to the planning board on a site walk, looked at it, and here's their letter of agreement.
I'll ask for a resolution or a motion later on authorizing me to sign a letter or to compose a letter to DOT.
Now, that should be written to the permit engineer, LaRose.
I think so, because everything goes through him, yes. And then
Yeah.
he'll forward it on to
Permit engineer.
traffic.
LaRose.
So everything still goes through the permit engineer.
Peter, I'll have you review the letter after I write it.
Yeah, I have his address too, if you need
Okay,
it.
perfect, thank you. What else, Mr. Berger?
Basically, everything else is pretty much the same. We haven't met since the site walk, so was hoping tonight would be conversation on anything that the board would like to see, conversation about the site walk, and anything else.
Thank you. We'll all be weighing in shortly. Let me start over with Ms. Moss. Any comments?
I was not on the site walk, but I do still have some questions about the configuration of the site plan and what's where, and some of the accesses to different areas are not as clear as I think they could be.
Okay.
I'd like to have an offline meeting
Sure.
to discuss
Absolutely.
what's shown on the plan.
Absolutely. Not a
So
problem.
Ted, when I spoke to Bonnie today, we kind of discussed this at length, and I think that one of the things we need to do, and Bonnie agreed, and she said she'd schedule an appointment with you first,
Okay.
is to go back and review the original application we made, the first extension of, or first expansion, because Michelle, and I have no reason to distrust her, said those calculations are wrong. I realized I don't have that original file because it's too long ago, it's gone into recycling, so, and Bonnie has some time right now available, so what might make the most sense is you guys to meet and then schedule a
Okay.
subsequent meeting with Joe to go over through everything, because as Bonnie said, it's really your determination as a zoning administrator as to what the
Which is
base is and
fine.
what the scale is.
I've just not been available.
No, I
for a
know.
while.
And this is complicated because we already had Liz and Paul Tierham's actual
back
saying
and
went
forth.
kind of back and forth through things as well. So this may be more like a Sherlock Holmes kind of sleuthing through before you can find everything. But I think that's the best way. Once we get it settled, then we can move forward afterwards.
Makes sense.
Anything else, Ted? Mr. Sotero?
Well, he issued a letter, just had a few things. Joe had said that they had some contaminated soil that was removed. If you remember, those of us that were on, the site walk, there was an odor in the area, fuel odor. So they brought in Taylor Environmental, and they did whatever that they typically do, put some soil in barrels, I believe, Joe, right, for disposal. So I just asked if we could get a copy of their, report, because usually they prepare a report. I don't remember the name of the machine they use, but they usually use, a sniffer, I call it, and they kind of define the area, and then, okay, that's what we're going to remove, and then, I don't know, are the barrels still there, or they have to go to a disposal facility?
Still there, I haven't gone forward yet.
Okay, so just when they go, if we could just get just for the files, the manifest of where it went to.
Absolutely.
So we'd have it for the
That
file.
was the intent.
And then you are proposing a new storage building
Yes.
there, so I just asked that there be a note put on the map that the building is simply, for storage, that there's no bathrooms
Yeah, that's
or
that's
anything.
reasonable.
It's pretty simple.
That's very reasonable.
And then, let's see, what else? I have my letter with me, I'm looking here, I have my notes.
Spot elevations for direction of stormwater or the basin.
Oh, yeah, elevations,
Yep.
yeah, just,
Not a
right,
problem. Not a
right,
problem.
some elevations. And then,
Absolutely.
the DOT, you said that you're working with them
Yes, we are.
on that, so we'll wait to hear
Yes.
from them. So, anything else in my letter, Joe?
No, that's, everything's fine. Went through, there were
Okay.
4 items,
Point.
150.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of engineering items here, so.
And Ms. Polidoro, any comments?
Yeah, I just have general site plan comments. I think a lot of them will be answered in that offline discussion about what exactly is the scale and clarifying what the different uses are and how they're counted.
Good.
Thank you. Just for my own edification, so Pete, when you said you were looking for more information about the soil removal, you're looking off sort of for a sign-off on where the final location is, the final destination?
No.
No?
Well, the manifest.
One was the manifest.
Well, there's typically a report, so Taylor Environmental, the firm who came out and did it, they typically produce a report that typically has a sketch of the area, and this is the area we took out, this is how much we took out, whatever else is in their report, to say that basically that, we got it all. And they use machines that they put down in and they measure, the fuel in the soil, and there's a certain, allowable.
Once
and
you get
then-
down to there, they will call it an analogy to cancer, they have clean margins.
There you go.
Exactly.
Dig it so deep.
It's,
Okay.
it's exactly. And then once, the barrels are taken to the disposal facility, we can just have a copy of the manifest that will show that it was taken to an approved DEC disposal facility.
Because Stephanie was whispering in my ear that when she was in development in Massachusetts, everything went to Buffalo. Just out of curiosity for all of us, what happens when you remove soil like this? How do they, is it like nuclear waste? They put it inside of, they burn it for years?
I think they incinerate it.
Yeah.
Just completely into ashes.
I don't know if you remember, but years ago at the,
Well,
at the edge
the
of,
volatiles-
I think it's the Green Tree Park, where there had been a gas station, and when they remediated
Yeah.
that site, they had a on-site incinerator
Yeah,
that they would just load up and it would
exactly.
cleanse the soil.
But they have scrubbers in these incinerators. It's just
Kinda
not
like a
like an open
campfire.
pit. It does have scrubbers. that
Okay,
takes-
thank you, because I was like, that's just releasing into
No,
the
no,
atmosphere.
no,
This
no,
can't be any better.
No, these are the same things you
No,
have
they're
on,
special,
the scrubbers that take it out.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, incinerators are not just an open pit fire.
You have to remember where I grew up in Texas, they would just flare off gas periodically and other
Yeah.
stuff, and just let it burn to the sky, so that's why I was curious. Sorry.
They go into scrubbers, and the scrubbers will remove the volatiles.
Good to know. I didn't think DEC would actually just allow it to be floating as some miasma of
No.
gas to kill
No.
us all, but one never knows. It's good for us to learn. Thank you. Mr. Veith, any comments?
In the agenda meeting, we talked a little bit about the building details, the storage building
Architectural
details.
units?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're working on them.
you are, okay. That's all I got.
Yes,
Thank you. Yes, we'll need materials, color,
Yes.
dimensions, et
that's being
cetera.
worked on.
We were thinking
And
about sending it to
Mr. Waters?
Yeah, I guess depending on DOT and what we suggest to do with the front, the entryway, will that, when that's closed, will that be landscaped? You know, is it going to be permanent parking? Is it going to be long-term parking for cars being worked on there? or
It'll be
truck-
closed off like the detail you already have for when we were closing the south one.
Okay.
Will be used for the north.
Yeah.
It'll be basically curbs on both sides, landscaping inside.
Landscaping inside of that and stuff, okay.
Some low brush,
And then the-
bushes, can't be trees, so,
Parking on the inside of that, or
on the inside of it, yes,
Yeah.
but the area itself will be closed off.
closed off?
So it'll be, you have a continuous long island there, so right now you have two small.
Yep.
So this area here will be connected to this area.
Okay, yeah.
And I think for sightlines, you want to not put in trees as well,
Yeah,
something lower and shrubbier.
oh yeah, the DOT
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
let us put
Yeah.
trees in
Yeah,
right
not
away.
not on that.
So if we can't put trees in, outside of the sight line, they'll be on the property line.
Thank you. Anything else, Rob?
No, that's it.
Ms. Wasser?
No additional comments.
Thank you. Ms. Dexter?
So my original comments back when they were talking about closing was, I didn't understand why you would need to. There's multiple businesses back there, and one is kind of pointed to the north. It's
Policy of DOT is one curb cut per property.
Yeah, I know, but
I went up and down the ladder within the DOT,
Yep,
and my answer was subdivide.
okay. So, anyway, that
That's
was
what
my
they
original
suggested.
thought, is I didn't see why we needed to
You
even
need more
close
than one
them.
parcel, get more and one.
But anyway, I would be in favor of keeping the southern entrance open as opposed to the closing up the south entrance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann.
But yes, that was a great site visit, and I'm glad that they found the spot to clean up the soil, and, you know, for what you want to use it for, seems to be a really good match.
Thank you. Mr. Oliver?
My only comments are in regards to the curb cut. I am in favor of keeping the southern curb cut and closing the north. I think that makes the most sense and will look nice when it's all done, so thank you.
Thank you, Chris. John?
No comments.
So, basically, my colleagues have covered everything I was going to mention. One was the memo from Pete, et cetera. Just to clarify again, that Bonnie is going to schedule a time with Tad to meet and review the original expansion numbers. Tad can then weigh in officially, and we can move forward instead of this amorphous where we're not kind of moving forward correctly.
Makes sense.
We do have a resolution, I believe, prepared tonight
Yes.
to start the circulation process. And I will also agree that we should keep the south entrance open. Making a motion quickly to authorize me to send a letter to DOT for that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Stephanie?
Okay, Relier Properties, April 3rd, 2024, Resolution 2023-64. resolution classifying the action, declaring intent to serve as lead agency in a coordinated seeker review, and referring the application to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development. Whereas, now therefore be it resolved, that the planning board hereby, 1, classifies the project as an unlisted action under seeker. 2, declares its intent to serve as lead agency in a coordinated review of the project and directs its secretary to send notice of its intent to all involved and interested agencies. And 3, directs its secretary to refer the site plan set to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development pursuant to Section 239M of the General Municipal Law.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I have a discussion item.
Please.
Can we just, on the 239M referral, can we just add, as soon as photometrics and elevations are received, so that the board doesn't have to wait
Yeah, because
another
they'll
month?
reject it.
Pursuant to Section 239M of the General Municipal, where do you want that?
Comma, just put as soon as photometric plan and elevations are submitted. This way Cynthia can go ahead and forward it as soon as she receives it, but it won't get rejected for that reason.
True.
And elevations
Yeah.
are,
Available.
Received.
Submitted.
I just heard 3 different words.
They all
Which
work.
which word am I
Yeah.
using?
Submitted.
Thank you.
It's fine, whichever one.
Any other comments? All in favor of the resolution as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? The motion carries. So I guess the next step is to make sure that we get this offline meeting going so we can figure out scale, because that's going to be kind of a clue to the next, the widest path forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a new item, River Ridge Recreation Center. This is new in terms of what we're actually seeing, but there's been a discussion for, I believe we actually approved this maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It was kind of a general sketched area that was loose, then there was discussion about actual equipment versus lawn equipment, what's it called, pickleball, versus a few others. So there's finally now a proposal. Let me turn it over to you. Welcome.
Initially, the area was approved for a sport court area.
Can you put the microphone in front of you?
I'm sorry, I thought it was loud enough.
No,
Initially,
this is being
the,
broadcast on TV, so.
it was approved for a sport court area. We floated an idea of a pickleball court to the residents. They did not like that, so we then went ahead and designed a bocce ball and shuffleboard court in the area. So we're here for a site plan, revised site plan approval.
Thank you. That's pretty short and sweet. I will also add that we heard from some of the residents over there that they didn't want the pickleball, but I've since heard the reason why from a lot of other neighbors who live near them is that they're really loud. I hadn't observed the pickleball until recently, so
What, like batting cages?
I don't think it's quite
It's
that.
noisy with the rackets.
No. It's exuberant. It's
a plastic
cardio.
ball.
Sure, yeah, sure it is. No,
It's loud, and they didn't want it at night as well, which we weren't going to do anyway.
Comments from consultants? Anyone?
No.
Tad, thank you.
I've been looking at the plan closely, and I'm looking forward to seeing a maximum disturbance line so that there's no additional disturbance to the wetland that is to the east of the facility.
What happens if we just have them,
It's on there. Yeah. The max disturbance line.
okay, so the disturbance line is on the,
It's well within and away from the wetlands.
all right.
Tad, when you say to the east, are we specifically talking?
There's an existing
Okay.
wetland that's sort of been disturbed a little bit.
Historically disturbed,
Historically disturbed, there you
not
go.
currently.
Do we also want to discuss the tree clearing, which is on the same lot?
There is no tree clearing at all on this lot.
Well, you haven't done any.
We don't intend to.
Well, so, I mean.
Let
I
me
think-
just clear the air here real quickly, Mr. McLaughlin.
Yep.
Did an owner or renter or whatever there clear trees in their backyard? I mean,
Somebody
it's very easy and quick, the question.
Yes, someone cleared some trees well away from this area on a closed unit that we didn't do. And we
I'm
never
not
gave permission.
accusing you of doing it,
No, no.
but there's on the original site plan that shows limits of disturbance,
That's correct.
and these trees would be in the limits of disturbance, so they were cleared with an unauthorized fashion.
That's correct.
But I don't believe they were on, they weren't on the fee of the closed unit, they were actually on the common parcel.
That's correct.
Correct. So I think because this is all the same parcel, we want to talk about tonight whether the planning board's going to require that new trees be planted where they were cleared.
Okay.
So just something up for discussion.
My first thought is always we should go do a site visit. I know this is very simple, but this will let us know, because all we're doing is hearing that there have been trees cut down because of neighbors making the statement. No, you haven't been there either. I saw in your email, so.
Okay.
It's sadly supposed to, I believe, rain all weekend.
It's April.
I'm despairing of those Mayflowers, I'm just going to let you know. Because all my daffodils are, their heads are down on the ground right now from all the heavy rain.
Wait, it is Sunday?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Do you guys want to try to schedule something the weekend? I mean, I don't think we're going to have to get too muddy. Do you know how far back this is set? Is it something we can
The
observe from the ground?
their property line is about 20 feet back from the building, and then it tails off. So he did a swath, I want to say, no wider than his unit, which is 20 feet wide, maybe about 15, 20 feet down. So he selectively cleared some 4 to 6 inch, from what I gather.
We'll
But
take-
not all the way to the train tracks, not all the way down. It's sparse.
It better not be all the way to the train
No, it
tracks.
definitely isn't.
Your
It's
property
not.
doesn't go all that far.
I know.
No offense. In addition, if this is somewhere low, even clearing trees isn't going to give a great view of the river. There's too much intervening
We understand that.
stuff there. Your best views are higher up
That's correct.
from the unit, so.
Sunday
Okay.
looks partly cloudy all day.
Do you guys want to try Sunday? Sure. Any particular time? Any particular time work for everybody else, or for anybody? 11, 10, 1, 2? Tossing out time.
I don't know, my phone.
11, anytime.
Let's try Sunday at 11. When I get back
11?
home? 11.
Sunday at 11?
I'll send out a little, what do you call that, doodle poll? Not Google poll, yes, doodle poll. Make sure that that works. And letting you know, Mr. McLaughlin, we should be there around 11. If somebody wants to be there, we're not going to go tramping through parcels. We're just
What
going to
I'll
stand
try to
there.
do is hook up Mr. Stuart Rich, who's the head of the HOA, who's now fined this individual, and he's going to make him replant whatever that happens to be. So I would rather have him walk with you guys.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Stuart Rich?
Stuart Rich, Mr. Stuart Rich. And he's the head of the HOA.
You'll let us know the meeting spot?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
We could probably meet at the clubhouse and just walk down, because it's right.
It's right there.
Okay.
And the clubhouse, by the way, is really nice.
It's gorgeous. It's the biggest clubhouse I've ever worked with him. I've worked a lot of residential developments over the years.
It's the size of a country club, you're right.
Right.
With the kitchen, I've been to several meetings inside there.
Very
It's-
nice.
It's very nice.
Unused, unfortunately.
Well, I've tried using it more, but I don't live there, so I have to have guest status. Let me start to my right. John, any comments?
No.
Chris?
No, I have nothing to add.
Ann?
Nope,
Stephanie?
not until after the site walk.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Rob?
The same. not
And
until after
Dawn?
the site.
Same.
But we're prepared to circulate this to get it started going, so it won't slow you down for us to have the site walk.
Sure.
Because I don't have any other really comments either. So we're referring this over to county planning under 239M because it is a commercial site, well, not commercial, but it's, the way county views it, it's not a purely residential site plan, is the right way to put it, so. And I believe this resolution is Mr.
Resolution classifying the action and referring the project to Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development, River Ridge, formerly known as Maple Ridge. Resolution number 57-02X, whereas, now therefore be it resolved that the planning board hereby, 1, classifies the project as a type 2 action, and 2, directs its secretary to refer the project to Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development pursuant to section 239M of the General Municipal Law.
Second?
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? And I can actually tell there aren't because you're also profundo tonight with your speaking and your ayes and nays. So thank you.
Yeah, we
And,
just,
Mr. McLaughlin, Cynthia, if you have any, if Mr. Rich can't make it at 1 o'clock, or,
11.
I mean, at 11 or 1 o'clock, one of the two that we, just please contact Cynthia, and we'll
I'm
see if
going
we
to
can
email
schedule.
him as soon as I leave, because I'm going away tomorrow.
Where you headed to?
Newport.
Where?
Newport, Rhode Island.
How very fancy of you. Have a nice time. Have a great time.
Thank you.
And
But I'll put that to bed tonight.
and make it a motion to set the public hearing for April 17th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good catch.
Next item on the agenda is a discussion involving Violet Avenue Coffee Shop.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye,
Drive
Kevin.
safe.
So this was, at the last meeting, a couple of the board members were interested in trying to hire a traffic consultant. We now have our normal one, Hudson Valley Engineering Associates. But in the interim, we had some, I believe, some updates from NYSDOT, and if I am correct, it echoes what Mr. Berger says. They only want one way in and one way out. They want you to close the south entrance, is that true, or not even have it?
Well, we're trying to figure that out. There wasn't clarity, and we got it today late, and we tried to reach out to him to get a response, because it basically says, as per our specs, but he didn't clarify.
Didn't show you the specs.
Yeah,
What he meant, so.
It doesn't, basically what it says is, I'll read it, it says, does not meet current standards. Written justification is required as to why this exit-only driveway is required. So it's not saying that we can't, it's just saying they want to understand why we think that we need it.
Because if you just have the single entry and exit, if someone's taking a left in the morning, there's enough traffic there that you could have a long queue stuck in the back. And the majority of people, I would think, would be, if they're traveling in the morning, would be going, because it's on the, I call it the breakfast side, the west side. They can zoom in, zoom out, and continue going south.
Right.
I think I just wrote your letter for you to
You
DOT.
did. Can I get that readback?
It's being recorded, so
But honestly, the majority of, during peak hours, which is what you're worried about, from morning and PM, at peak AM, people are heading south because that's where the jobs are. We're a commuter community, for better or for worse, to City, Town, and Poughkeepsie, and southern areas and Dutchess. So if you'll notice, you'll see that the number of cars going into Dunkin' Donuts in the morning far exceeds those ones going into McDonald's, because it's more of a hassle to take a left, have to go in and then go back out into traffic. Similarly with this one, I would think that if there's an easier way to exit north, particularly, again, that's where most morning traffic, south morning traffic is going, it'll be a lot easier. And there's going to be kind of a pent-up demand, so that just one person sitting there waiting to take that left. Now, I mentioned this with Ms. Whitman, who said, it's been my experience that if you're really stuck there and they see cars waiting, someone will say, oh, come on out and go in front of us, which is probably true. But I'm not sure as planners we should be saying, let's rely on the Good Samaritans. We want to make sure that we do this correctly now in advance.
Yes.
So if there's any way we can, if I need to, I'm sure that if you would like us to write a letter to DOT on this, we would be, I can probably get a motion to authorize me to do so.
That would be very nice.
Now, that noted.
Make a motion to authorize you to write a letter to DOT.
Second.
Okay.
And to say what exactly?
That we are an advocate of the right turnout. Something
Just,
like that.
just,
For the right turn?
but let's go back and now just, it was Ann who first started this issue, so let's discuss more of the specific issues, because I remember we were going over here, over there, and we at one point had the neighbor to the south complain that he thought you were doing construction on his site, which is not true. We have an actual survey, et cetera, so, at any rate, so, and of course, I will admit that I was overcome last time with lots of emotion, so I didn't really pay close enough attention to understand what you were talking about in every way. Let me pull this out. Oh, wait, I didn't bring it with me. Does somebody have these plans?
No.
what, did you want me to just talk about my concerns?
You want me-
Oh, okay.
Are they,
So I had concerns with, I'm sorry.
You can't see it from here.
is that,
The magic stick.
I didn't, just, I didn't get that whole motion and vote, so.
There wasn't.
She just made the motion, no one seconded. We're going to have this discussion first.
no, I was gonna scroll down here.
Oh, stop it here. It's on it. There's a mouse on the,
It's in front of Mr. Lombardi.
Yeah, he's got a.
Yeah.
Just not sure if it's updated with your latest and greatest.
Thank you, Mike. So Ann and I were just discussing, we feel as though in some ways we might want to wait until we hear from DOT before continuing this discussion further. Because DOT is going to weigh in heavily about what they think traffic is, how it's best handled on-site and exiting the site as well. And did we refer this to DOT already? I don't remember. I apologize.
So, we referred it to county planning, 239M, and DOT.
Well, we have the application in front of them right now.
And are they asking you for more comments?
Well, we just got.
Tried to decipher the quick email letter, yes.
Yeah, we just got them this afternoon, so.
Cryptic email.
Yeah, that was after me asking Bill this morning if he could get us his review letter. I know that John had spoken to him last week, and he said he was going to send it out, and he hadn't, so he just sent us, it wasn't even an official letter. It was just his thoughts on an email.
Would this make more sense to set up an offline meeting, Pete?
Yeah.
To kind of move it forward more quickly? Does that sound good to you, Mike?
Yeah.
It's tended to
Now, when
happen
you say are you thinking
with DOT,
with the
meet
DOT?
there, yeah.
I mean, Bill, I work with him all the time, and he's very accommodating. I don't think he'd have a problem.
Over the years, it's tended to speed things through when we meet in person for a lot of projects, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, okay. You want to try to set up, can we try to set something up next week? Are you here?
Yeah.
You guys are here?
Physically, yes. Mentally, maybe not.
Unless you're going, unless you're planning a trip to Newport or the Sahara Desert.
The same mountain count?
He might, although, I mean, his office is close, so it probably doesn't matter. It probably doesn't matter. But he lives in Rhinebeck, so I know sometimes if I would meet him up in this area, he'd prefer to do it like
We can meet here at
in the
Town Hall.
morning or in the afternoon.
I'd rather meet here than the DOT offices where we
Yeah,
have to,
no,
like,
no.
sign away our eldest children to get in, so,
Oh, geez.
no offense.
What did you just say?
Sign away our eldest children to get in, all those things you have to go through to get in, it's as though you're going to a high-security.
Oh, no. Well, his office, Bill's office is right down from where my old office was on Violet Ave.
Okay,
So, but he'll come up here.
okay. Then can
Only,
you,
Pete, the only 2 mornings that I'm not, if you want to do it first, in the morning, is Wednesday and Friday. Those are I have 2 meetings I can't change.
So Mike Berta, NG, what'd you just say again?
Wednesday and Friday morning.
All right.
Do it Monday.
Yeah, Monday we have.
oh, wait,
big-
Monday, sorry, oops.
Not Monday either.
That leaves Tuesday and
We're all
Thursday.
gone.
Planning retreat?
Sorry. We're waiting to the eclipse.
Yes.
Oh,
No, we're going to watch Michael get his award. Up at,
So we're looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
no, Tuesday and
Wednesday,
Thursday.
yeah, Tuesday or Thursday.
Wednesday, Friday, I'm no good.
Oh, that's what you just said.
Yeah.
That's if it's the morning.
I heard that, by the way.
Pete, that's if it's the morning, if it's the afternoon, are you free in the afternoons?
Friday afternoon, yes. Wednesday, let me look.
No, Wednesday,
said not
you're
No,
not.
afternoon, he said
Not the
afternoon.
morning.
Not in the morning.
Mike asked in the
Okay.
afternoon. Wednesday afternoon, yes, I'm free. Yeah.
Got it.
So Wednesday afternoon, you're good.
Yeah, like
Come on,
after, like,
Mike, where you get your-
after 11. Or after 12, sorry.
Oh, now we're getting into specific time.
I got meetings, you know?
Okay, Mike.
If anyone
And
from,
you guys are making me go to my cardiologist on Friday, so you know.
if anyone from the board would like to join us, I'll let you know what the time are when we're going to meet.
thank you.
Because it's always fun to meet with DOT, believe me.
No, he's a good guy. Bill is,
I haven't met him yet, I don't
he's a
believe.
great guy.
Good.
Really is.
I'm NG Tuesday, Wednesday,
So,
Thursday,
I don't know.
Oh, right. Okay. So we'll continue this discussion, but after we meet with DOT.
Okay.
And understand where they're concerned.
I did want to just, last time I was discussing mostly internal circulation at the entrance, but the other major difference I see between this proposal and the one that we evaluated very closely here in the town center is that the town center has a left-hand turn lane into that plaza, so it can handle
Right.
either congestion, south or north. And I did just want to, when you were talking before about the morning traffic being mostly southbound, I just wanted to add that it actually is very heavy northbound too, because
school. The
Haviland
school.
Junior High is right there, and there is
school.
very heavy traffic in the morning as a lot of parents bring their children there, and so not having a special left-hand turn lane there presents an issue, because that's kind of how we mitigated here. That one was, well, they could sit outside of traffic, and, you know, the way we notched the curbs, and
No, you're right.
so that was just another point that I saw that, again, I think it would be a very popular place, but I'm just concerned about safety. And again, when you're on that stretch and you see people passing school buses, you know, you can see that people don't want to be safe anyway.
I'm not understanding, when you say if you're heading northbound, the turning lane in, so that...
There isn't one.
There isn't
They're
one.
saying.
No, I know that, but I mean, that can't, we couldn't even create one there.
There's not enough room.
No, I know,
There's nothing
but
from
I'm just
Oh, that's what I
comparing
was
this,
getting at.
we've just gone through a very
Okay.
exhaustive process because people love their coffee. They really do, and they, I disagree
Well-
with our secretary. I don't think people will wave people in. I think they're, it's my coffee!
We're on a different side of town, we're on 9G, we're a lot friendlier over there. It happens all the time.
I love that, that's cool. So anyway, I just wanted to say that also, because to me, we should be looking at this in a very similar manner to the other sites in town where we have been evaluating for popular restaurants or...
Well taken, thank you.
I'm going to add something because no one else has seen it yet, I don't think, except for Cynthia. But, excuse me, 2 nights ago, there was another head-on collision in front of where the grounded marijuana dispensary is proposed. Just last year, 2 dear friends of mine were almost killed in another head-on collision. So I told Cynthia, we should probably be looking to see what goes on there, so she wrote to Chief Benson. John.
Where is that?
River Point Road.
Oh.
It's where Stewart's
come into town
Stewart's
on
on one
Route
side and
Yeah.
Planet Fitness on that
Yeah.
area. There's a remarkable number of accidents there.
There are.
Unbelievable number.
I mean,
Because you got the Planet
unbelievable.
Fitness, you got, like River Road, and you got the Planet
Middle lane,
Fitness.
middle lanes
I
going
think the
across,
worst is Stewart's in the middle lane.
Car dealer.
and Big Meadow Lane.
That middle lane, when you see the
use it
diagrams
to-
of accidents,
People don't
as Andrew
understand
said,
use
people are passing school buses on the right, then the bus plows into them. It's not good, and I think I'm only maybe a quarter of the way through. So, if there's a real concern, we could probably ask for an analysis of accidents at this intersection as well. But that was a little eye-opening to see all of what was there, and they're also checking, Chief Benson's checking with the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office to see if there's any additional things that they have that are not in our records. But I had no idea that was such a dangerous
Oh,
area.
it is horrible. I drive it every day, and the other thing people do is because there are left-hand turns, they get in the left-hand turn lane going north at Stewart's, and they keep going
Yeah.
to turn into Planet Fitness.
Fitness, right.
In the meantime, people think because they're there, and it's...
That's
there's
crazy.
all kinds of-
So the good thing about the location at
They
8:15...
can't do that.
At 8:15, they can't do that because there's a pole. No, there was a telephone pole, and one of the comments for Bill LaRose was he wants to see the entrance or exit in line with, across to Franklin Street, which we're as close as possible, but there's a pole there. But what it does stop is that if somebody is going south and wants to turn into Franklin Road, a car can't pass on the right because there's a pole there. But
Right.
if there wasn't a pole there, they'd be on the grass, over the curb. And the situation that you were talking about over on Route 9, I sent everything to Cynthia and Hyde Park, and the sheriffs are going to compile all the documentation. But this one guy was speeding over 100-plus miles an hour, and the car flipped over. And I showed her the comments and everything. I snapshot of them, and somebody's pumping gas at Stewart's while the car flipped over and caught on fire. He was going 100 miles an hour. So lots of times, these are just driver problems, not,
Well,
not...
you can't, I've tried to explain for years to anybody, including everybody up here and myself, you can't design something so that there's never going to be any kind of issue. It's just not possible, as you said, human error.
It's hard to design for stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, that's true.
But
That's
I'll
right.
also point out that in response to concerns, say it was at Joseph's Steakhouse, where the point is, everyone was worried because there's not a lot of space between the outer wall and where people are driving, and so we had, I believe, concrete bollards put inside the...
And big stones.
And big stones inside where the posts are. I mean, they're disguised because it's that polychrome vinyl for the fencing. But there are things you can do to at least help, because that's planning for stupid, basically. Someone just goes, oh, wonk, and plows into your seating, so.
We did that, I did one on Route 55, and we have very big stones right on the road, so that if somebody goes off the road, they're not going too far, and they're cemented in.
Cementing is good. So, at any rate, so Pete, we'll let you try to set up a meeting.
Yeah.
And then I'll circulate it out to the rest of the board to see what we can do, and we'll get that moving. And then, based on what we hear there, we'll then consider hiring the traffic engineer for for general purposes as well.
And you're holding off on the letter with DOT until
Yeah.
after the meeting?
Yeah, yeah.
Do we have to withdraw the motion?
No, because there was no second, no vote. Anything else? Any other concerns?
No.
Okay. Then thank you, and thanks for coming. I'll be seeing you, I hope, next week with DOT.
No.
If there's no other business, making a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you to the town board and supervisor, who, one of them is here, for providing the services and resources to televise these meetings. Thank you, Tony, and thank you, consultants.
I think this is one of the fastest meetings we've had in a very long time. Under an hour.